Spreadsheet Drama. Would you believe it? Scarlon is at the center of this again. How can someone go on Twitter and make everyone angry multiple times per week? It's a talent, honestly. So anyway, this comes from an original tweet here saying, I'm lost a while a couple of weeks ago. I was trying to get up to speed for Alan following Jib's spreadsheet that played both of these cards, and now the spreadsheet makers are telling me that I'm behind for using their resource. The context here is delete it! Bucky deleted it! It just, did you see that? The page doesn't, what happened? Okay, anyway, Pac tweeted that if you main GWC, you're behind. If you play Code Talker, you're lost. This was in response to the,
Brazil!
I suppose their deck list that Jib topped with. I think he got top 8 with it. And he wasn't playing GWC, and he wasn't playing, Code Talker, which if you look here on the original, or not even, I think original, I think this is the paid spreadsheet. All of the combos have GWC as part of their end boards, as well as Code Talker. And yet, they are selling this spreadsheet. They are selling a product which features combos that apparently are now behind. Well. That seems sus, right? Had to take for a while that the Klika pros might not be trustworthy when they constantly tell you you don't know what's good, asking for your money to find out what's good, and then what's good conveniently changes when they top an event and their deck list is public as a result. This is not what's good, YouTube. I did see some comment here that I felt like was not really getting the point here. The time that they all convinced people Predaplant branded was the best way to play the deck, and that was a complete farce, made me not take most of what they say to heart. This is just like revisionist, by the way. This like didn't happen, right? All of those players that they're talking about here did play Predaplants and branded. They literally did play that. So to say that they hide things and then don't put their money where their mouth is not really historically true. They factually did play Predaplant. So I don't know how this person just made that up. Like, literally just misinformation. They didn't do that well. Oh, no, they didn't. They all, like, bubbled, I'm pretty sure, which shows that the build wasn't good. But the point is like, you know, that's just a lie, right? That's just not true. They did play the deck that they said was the best version to play it. So, yeah, that's just not true. But anyway, so 2 ways to look at this, of course. Point number 1 is this is a big scam. They're scamming their buyers, their audience. They are deliberately misleading people and charging them to be misled by putting out these phony spreadsheets that don't actually play the best optimal combos for the deck, right? I guess you can definitely interpret it that way. Second way to interpret this, and which is what I think is kind of the way to look at it, is I think that you can still make combos and spreadsheets and resources for people, but also maintain a competitive edge. I think the tricky issue is when it's paid for. So when you actually use, if you're making free spreadsheets, then it's fine to include dumb gimmicky combos, right? For example, Vlad, he has a Blue Eyes spreadsheet, and that thing has like invoked combos, right? He knows that's not the best way to play the deck. He topped with Blue Eyes. He didn't play fucking invoked cards, but he put it in the spreadsheet anyway because it's just there. It's a resource. It's an option. That's fine, right? However, I think it definitely goes a step further when you are playing, when you're charging people for a spreadsheet that is playing outdated combos, quote unquote, right? So I think that's definitely the big issue here. I think Pac responded to this, so we can take a look at what he's saying. What is Pac's Twitter? Do I not have him? Pac official TCG, of course. Official! Okay, let's see here. So this was some theory about like the cards, I believe. Some theory here, some theory here. Bit of a facetious comment made here. Does anyone have the pack list without code? You said access code. I'm pretty sure he means code. And GWC that perform better than the low-ranking people who are behind? I'm trying to get ahead. Thanks. Yeah, Ryan and Jib both topped without allied code and GWC in the main. Yeah, but I think Pac's missing the point there, which is like, you know, if people did theoretically buy an Allen spreadsheet for this YCS, well, the deck topping and getting the deck list after the fact kind of makes the whole payment redundant, right? My original tweet is an issue with the sheet itself. It's not being equal to what they played at the YCS. It was more so Pac's comment afterward. I'm trying to find it. Where is it? yeah, so Pac's comment being the if you're playing GWC, you're behind thing, and then selling a spreadsheet that was playing GWC in the combos. All right, we have a response here. Thanks for buying the sheet. Really appreciate the support. The sheet will be updated tonight after I'm off work. You're not actually behind. This is just a rage bait troll post. Oh, is Pac he deleted because he was rage baiting and shouldn't have? I don't know, dude. I was only joking. I was only trolling. I don't know if I like that response. Not meaning GWC is a crazy risk, but we only took it to avoid 10% chance on breaking on it. Would run it back though, but if Bell gets more popular, it is probably worth maining GWC. Spreadsheets are designed to teach you the basic lines. You have to make your own decisions about whether certain tech cards are worth playing into a specific event, which will not be covered in any sheet. Okay, so the cynical approach to this is looking at this and saying to yourself, ha! You were only pretending? You were joking when you said if you play GWC, you're behind? I think this is a fairly reasonable response. Not meaning GWC is a crazy risk, but we only took it to avoid the 10% chance of breaking on it and would run it back. But if Bell gets more popular, it would be maybe worth maining GWC. So, listen, I don't know the technicalities and ins and outs of Malice, and I'm not going to pretend to. But this is conceptually the way I look at it and the way I see it. A spreadsheet, and especially even a paid spreadsheet that can list all of these combos and stuff, I think exists to be able to provide a way to play a deck and a resource for the community as a cheat sheet. You don't have to go and learn all of this yourself. Sometimes new decks come out and there's like combos on YouTube and they're always like kind of sus. You know, they're usually made by like someone who maybe just picked up the deck or someone who isn't actually doing the combos properly, not even maliciously, just isn't doing the combos properly. And I think that using a resource to be able to get yourself up to speed to the very basics, even if those combos aren't optimal. I don't think there's anything wrong with the spreadsheet having card choices that are not what they consider optimal. It's a resource. It's a thing that you can use as a player. If you are literally paying for all of this stuff, expecting to just be handed a top, that's not really going to happen, right? You do have to put some thought and effort in by yourself. However, I think the big issue and the thing that is really, I guess, upset people is the fact that he posted saying, well, you're behind, while also simultaneously selling a spreadsheet that had behind combos. Now, he says that's rage bait. He was just jokingly saying that, memeing around. Read into that what you will. But I still think it's possible to have a competitive edge without giving away all of your personal like secrets and tech cards and choices, right? From a competitive standpoint, I feel like that's something that you can do. And I don't think it's like, what are you going to do? Make a spreadsheet for Malice and not include the most popular combos, not include the most popular lines featuring the new boss monsters? I think that's probably kind of normal, right? You would include those, even if you don't think they're optimal. Like I said, Vlad has a free spreadsheet for Blue Eyes. It has invoked combos, right? It's there for those who want them. If you want the GWC combos, they're there in the spreadsheet. If you don't want them, then yeah. But I suppose not including any non-GWC combo lines in a paid spreadsheet is a bit sus. You know, I do understand that. All right, thoughts and prayers. Is paying for a spreadsheet really necessary if you'll be playing the deck anyway? No, it's not. That's why it's not. Buddy, this isn't the IRS, okay? Uncle Sam doesn't come, hey, hello, knocking on your door. Say, did you buy the pack spreadsheet? No, it's an option. No one's forcing you to buy that. Like, what do you mean? Like, the meta shifts like the wind. Of course, things won't get updated before an event. They have to theory craft before solidifying anything down. It's their fault if they're paying for it and expecting to always be up to date. I suppose it kind of just depends, like, how it's advertised. But yeah, like, that is a fact. The meta changes, like, day to day, week to week. Literally in the last 24 hours, Malice went from being, like, the perceived best tier 0 deck to just one of the competitors for this format. And Ryziel Mitsurugi has definitely approached the level of being potentially the best deck in and of itself, or a meta-contending deck. You can just, this is just a fact, mathematically, statistically, you can look at the prices of the cards, because they convey that notion, right? Mitsurugi cards have spiked. Malice cards have kind of plateaued a bit, right? And that's because the meta has shifted and changed accordingly. Pac's definitely in the wrong, and if he wasn't beloved by the community, no one would be defending it. Because the problem is, why is Pac beloved by the community, though? Right? Like, yeah, I see what you're saying. Oh, he's only getting a free pass because people like him. Okay, but why do people like him? There's a reason for that. It's because he does really put in the time, effort, energy into providing good, high-level competitive content for the community. Because content creation, yeah, but what is that content? He does make really good high-end competitive content. That's why people like him, right? So I feel like, you know, cart before the horse type of situation there. Did you buy a stun spreadsheet? You're playing it so well. yeah, I did. Okay, any other arguments or comments people want to talk about or bring up? How much is the spreadsheet by pro players on average? I don't know. There's a free version and there's also a paid version. I generally don't know what the difference is there. You can just add the new lines. I don't think he discovered the new lines when he made them. Yes and no, right? Ultimately, I think that, yeah, you can just add them. Okay, but there had to be, like, public outcry for him to add them, right? Right? Like, that's kind of the issue. It's like, why did he have to be, like, called out in order for something that you would expect to be, what's the word, natural as part of the process of maintaining a up-to-date paid for spreadsheet, right? Like, that, I think that's kind of like what the issue is ultimately, inherently. Adding the new lines after the YCS also does nothing. It depends on the context, right? If some people are buying and paying for the spreadsheet, which many probably did, in order to prep for the YCS, then yeah, ultimately the new lines are redundant, right? Like, the event's done now. What am I going to do with these new combos? But, you know, the format isn't over in one single event. There's going to be more. There's Nationals coming up. There's the WCQs. So it's not like those combos are just going to, like, evaporate and be useless overnight, with or without GWC. How about you learn the deck by yourself? Yeah, tell them. Is it a one-time payment for a deck, or do you have to pay when it updates? I think it's a one-time payment. I think if you're giving advice you know is wrong, you should just not give any. Okay, but there's a big assumption you're making there. I don't think they're deliberately giving wrong advice. I think they gave some combo lines, had some other combo lines as well, that were not part of the spreadsheet, that were probably, like, discovered, you know, days before the event, which, as someone who has been in pro player circles or whatever for years, understands how much theory and stuff can be developed just literally on Friday night before a YCS. Like, that is, I promise you, like, 50% of, like, some people's testing, these people who are regularly topping and doing well, some of that theory, some of the deck building and choices are made literally, like, 24 hours before the event starts. So that can happen. If I were a pack diehard fan and I purchased a sheet in preparation for the YCS, I would feel betrayed personally. I mean, that's fair enough. If you are paying, you should get all the techs, options, and combos that players know. You are spending money at the end of the day. Yeah, no, I agree. Guys, if you ever win rock, paper, scissors against the thing on the other side of the mirror, I got beaten by it all day yesterday. Damn, that's crazy. Cutting GWC and maining Bomber over Akkord can be a last-minute decision, but the testing of it is happening long before the final day. Maybe. I mean, we don't know. This has happened before, so-called pro players kept fully realized decks and combos hidden to top events. When did this happen? What's this? This is a very unique situation, okay? I can't think of a time where top players and pro players have deliberately misled the community via paid content and then played or done something else. That's a different thing. Patrick Hoban famously used to mislead people back in 2014 and 15. Biggest example was topping multiple ARG events with Dragon Rulers and then swapping to Sylvans for the Nationals, as an example. Sylvan era? Okay, but the difference there is... I knew you were going to say that. The difference there is that wasn't paid content, okay? He was just posting deck profiles on the internet. Like, that's not... that isn't paid content, right? Hoban said Brilliant Fusion sucked in ABC. Yeah, well, I mean, Patrick Hoban is probably the most infamous person of a pro player deliberately misleading the community to get an edge. That is absolutely a historical fact. But I don't think that's what's happening here. None of this matters because the best deck this format is Mimigo Blue Eyes, aka Dungeons and Dragons! Yo, mods! VIP this guy. There it is, dude. There it is. Okay. Anyway. Yeah, so that's it. That's the drama. It's a weird one, I guess, you know? It's definitely open to interpretation. I think there is absolutely multiple sides to be seen here. Obviously, I'm biased because Pac is my friend, but as someone who likes to see the benefit of the doubt in things, or maintain the benefit of doubt and see the best in people like this, I really don't think this was done maliciously. I don't think this is a similar case historically where someone is purposefully making combos to make you play worse combos so that they then get a better advantage at an event. I just don't think that's what happened here. I think at an absolute worst case scenario, it's providing basic standard combos that are good and people do know, but keeping some of the better ones for yourself. At an absolute worst case scenario, that's what's happening here. I don't think it's malicious, and I don't think it was done deliberately to mislead people. Anyway, you might have some other thoughts, so you can talk about that in the comments, I guess.